Hello my dear friends, my name is JohnnyFerno and welcome to the Base of Opinions. Inspired by the likes of Silverquill, Dr. Wolf, Commander Firebrand and more, I am going to try and voice my opinions in my own series of review videos. So everyone please, feel free to join me in my Base of Opinions. The Base of Opinions is my own little sanctuary where ponies of all kinds can come and voice their opinions about, well, anything, without really being judged. Well, not too hard at least. I want to keep this a flexible place where all opinions that are voiced are respected and accepted. So if I dislike or like an episode that you feel the opposite about, then please say so, because I want to hear your side of it. So the first episode I'm going to look at is an old episode. Many say are one of her best. All the way from Season 1, Episode 25, the Pinkie Pie episode, Party of One. So if you're ready, my dear friends, let us begin! So as we start off, we see Pinkie Pie inviting every pony to her pet Gummy's birthday with quite an adorable song.
Oh, hi Pinkie Pie.
This is your singing telegram, I hope we find you well. You're invited to a party cause we think you're really swell.
After the intro, we get to the party itself where everyone tries to enjoy themselves despite Pinkie's antics. After the party, Pinkie gets the idea that they should have more parties soon, and already the next day, Pinkie goes out to give invitations to all of her friends. But not a single one of them can come because of one thing or another, which leads to Pinkie Pie getting suspicious and sets out to find what really is going on. Already on paper, this story puts me a bit off. I'm not a fan of lies in general, but when the setting is like this, I get alarms going off. But let's not hinder and move on. Now the first part is the most interesting when it comes to character interaction and development. Let's start with, in my opinion, the best example, Rainbow. She states that she always loves Pinkie's parties and wouldn't ever miss one. Now you may not think about it too much, but I can't help but see this as a small nod to her element of loyalty. Just a small note. Now with the ponies in general, it's clearly shown that all of Pinkie's antics may not always be the best, but that doesn't mean that they don't enjoy it. It's pretty clear that they have known Pinkie long enough to not be completely turned off by her weird antics. We see it in episodes like Pinkie Pride, where that feeling is still going on. They still know her, love her, and accept that she sometimes can be a bit weird. That just shows how good friends they all are. And now the second act. The second act. Oh dear. The memories are coming back to me. Just for everyone's information, when I watched this episode for the review, it was actually the second time I've ever watched it for myself. The reason? This part. I have a bad habit when it comes to watching episodes for the first time. If there was a part coming up where I felt a huge cringe coming, I would just jump forward in the video. That way I ended up missing important plot lines, funny moments and all kind of stuff. That's why my memory doesn't serve me too well when it comes to my first impressions of Season 1 and 2. Because I skipped so much. I like to think that I've learned to deal with that over time, as seen in my newbie dash reaction that even though cringy stuff came up and I reacted, I still kept going and didn't try to hide it or skip it. Now back to the episode. As Pinkie asks everyone to join Gummy's after birthday party, wait, is that a thing? Everyone begins to make up lies for not coming. At first I was feeling the old cringe returning, but then I realized that some of the gags were funnier than I remembered. AJ's lying despite being the most honest, the gag with Rainbow trying to escape the wrath of Pinkie Gonzalez, and my favorite, the way that Rarity hides the cake in her tail. I have to admit, that bit was pretty cool. Speaking of Rarity, that bad smell scene where she messes herself up, it was pretty hilarious. Now here's another thing I want to talk about, the cake situation. I have a problem with this segment, and the scene I dislike the most, which represented my biggest issue, is when Twilight goes to the Sugar Cube Corners to pick up the cake. She knows that Pinkie lives there! Why couldn't she have found some other way to get the cake to make sure that Pinkie didn't notice? Also, I know that they presume that Pinkie isn't nearby when they talk, but the way they put the things that they say just doesn't feel right to me. Any pony who overheard them will probably think the same thing that Pinkie thinks. And so it comes to the most infamous part of this episode, at least for me. The interrogation scene. Now, I both like and dislike this scene. I like it because Spike is pretty hilarious with his little gags. I dislike it because of Pinkie. Now this is where I get the same feeling that I got from Seabreeze from the Breezy's episode in Season 4. I understand why Pinkie does what she does, but it still feels off. I don't know how else to describe it, it doesn't feel right. And the funny thing is that she doesn't even explain everything to Spike. She tells him to tell her what she wants to hear. So in the end, she is the one making herself depressed because of her own belief that her friends have gone behind her back and against her. It's both a frustrating and very heart-wrenching scene. Until Spike ruins it for being a little greedy dragon brat. You were so good there, Spike. You went so well. And now, this scene. The one that everyone remembers and will never forget. A scene so creepy that it inspired one of, if not the most infamous fanfics in the entire fandom. The after birthday party with Pinky going haywire. And oh dear gods above, it's fantastic. This is going to sound weird to some, but this sudden change doesn't feel out of place at all. It feels kind of natural in a weird way for Pinky to become this crazy. Okay, try and look at it this way. When Pinky was a filly, she was all alone on the rock farm, not having any friends except for her family. And now that the only true friends that she's ever had have apparently turned on her, she doesn't know what to think and just reacts. But in my opinion, the scene in itself is just fantastic. The eerie music, the crazy paint-splattered backgrounds, the fact that the inanimated objects are talking to her. It gets even creepier when it's shown that she is the one moving them around and giving them voices. That is creepy as heck. But Rainbow soon comes over and literally tries to drag her ass over to the barn where Pinkie Pie thinks that they're holding a goodbye party. Is that also a thing? But Pinkie soon figures out that it was actually her birthday party. She returns back to normal, everything is alright. Okay, I promised myself not to ask this, but how can you forget your own birthday? Well, at least in Friend Indeed, it is shown that she has learned to remember everyone's birthday, including her own, right down to the dates, along with everyone else. From that point on, she also learns to think the best of her friends, and to remember that her friends will always have her best interests in mind, no matter what. In episodes like Friend Indeed, it shows that Pinkie has grown. I have to admit, at first I didn't really think much of the moral. Now please don't misunderstand me, I think the moral itself is very good. It's the way it was delivered that I had a problem with. Let me explain. At first, I was very split on it. Like, why was it Pinkie who had to learn it, while a shy pony like Fluttershy could also have learned this because of her shyness and poor social skills? At the time, I thought that. After a bit of thinking, I realized that this moral only could have really worked with Pinkie. The reason for me saying that is because Pinkie is only the way she is because she has friends. Because she has people, ponies, to have fun with and keep her head stable. Ever since friendship came into her life, she has been so happy ever since. Her whole life and personality is based on having friends, and making them happy in turn makes her happy. So what happens the moment she thinks her friends has deserted her and that they don't like her and her parties? Basically saying that she in no way makes them happy? She goes into a flip, going into a more cynical and pissed off version of herself. The message of believing and trusting your friends and only expect the best of them could only have worked this well if it was Pinkie who have learned it. Alright, time for final thoughts. If I have to be totally honest, it could have been worse. For me, this episode was really balancing on the tip of becoming annoying and a chore to watch. The line gags wore out quickly for me, and there were a few character decisions I didn't think fit a lot. But besides those points, it had some funny moments. The moral was good, and Pinkamena still creeps the hell out of me. It's not one of the worst of Season 1, but it's not really one of the best either. I personally give Party of 1 a Pinkie Pie creepypasta out of 10. It's incredibly creepy, kind of rare, but it does work in a strange way. But that is all my opinion, my dear friends. Tell me, what are yours? Please do write your own opinions about this episode in the comments below. I look forward to reading them all. And that was Party of 1. I hope that you enjoyed the review and want to see me do more. Please tell me in the comments below what you thought of the episode, and tell me your positives and negatives, so I can work on becoming a better entertainer and reviewer for you guys. But as always, my dear friends, thank you so much for watching. My name's Johnny Fireflame, and I'll see you guys next time!